Senator Rick Scott here. Let me give you a travel warning. If you're a socialist, communist, somebody that believes in big government, I would think twice. Think twice if you're thinking about taking a vacation or moving to Florida. We're the free state of Florida. We actually don't believe in socialism. We actually know people, and some people in our state lived under it. We know people lived under socialism. It's not good. It's not good for anybody. So if you're thinking about it, if you're thinking about coming to Florida and you're a socialist or communist, think twice. We like freedom, liberty, capitalism, things like that.
Wow, but how is it living under the gluttony of capitalism, like unfettered capitalism, laissez-faire capitalism? Now, let's recap this. The man said if you are a socialist, a communist, or somebody who believes in big government, to think twice about coming to Florida. He said, think twice about taking a vacation or moving to Florida. We are the free state of Florida. We like freedom, liberty, and capitalism. We don't believe in socialism. It's not good for anybody. Now, my stunt double had to weigh in on this per usual, and she's usually right most of the time. This is extremely inappropriate at best, a threat at worst. Yeah, because he said don't come here. And it's basically don't come here or else. Or what? What, Senator Rick Scott? What is going to happen if a communist, a socialist, or a big government type, what if they do come to vacation or move to Florida? What exactly is going to happen to them, sir? Explain yourself. Now, it's amazing how the GOP prides itself in the art of division. And my stunt double is correct, as she often is, that Senator Scott's warning is extremely inappropriate at best and a threat at worst. Now, his comments about how Floridians believe in freedom, liberty, and capitalism, which Floridians is he referring to? Inquiring minds want to know. How can one be free if one is always in survival mode or in constant need? Let's put up these stats. Let's let the empirical data show us just how free Floridians are. Nearly half, or 45% of working Floridians, are living in or near poverty or in households that are one missed paycheck or lost job away from affording basic needs. Nearly 2 in 10, or 17% of Florida's children live below the federal poverty line, which means earning less than $26,500 per year for a family of 4, ranking Florida as 35th among other states. But let the good times roll. Let that freedom just ring for them. And the majority of these children, 71%, are Black or Latinx. Children living in poverty are more vulnerable to low academic achievement, dropping out of school, abuse and neglect, behavior and social emotional problems, physical health problems, and developmental delay. Now, is this the type of freedom that Senator Rick Scott is referring to? Instead of threatening folks, he should put his energy towards changing the material conditions of the people who live in the state of Florida and less on playing games. But as my grandmother would say, that would be too much like right, as in doing the right thing. And that is not in Senator Rick Scott's nature. Jessica, your thoughts?
What a terrible guy, man. I think most Americans that were alive during the Cold War and McCarthy era, when they hear socialist communists, they think bad things. They think of a centrally planned economy that's run by authoritarian figures. Having a planned economy is not very different from what we have right now. Think of who the authoritarian figures running the economy and making decisions are. Who creates money? Who gets to decide who has access to capital? It's people with capital already. So wealthy people who got it through exploiting slaves or stealing land when they first got to the United States. And it's big banks who make the choice which businesses actually get the funds to operate in this country. That's a centrally planned economy. It's just not the traditional government running it. But when we have the consolidation of economic power in the United States, the consequence is this type of stuff that Rick Scott participates in, which is running a private hospital and committing fraud to collect $631 million from federal programs like Medicare and Medicaid. These are public dollars that are supposed to help the people. And instead he runs a private corporation and takes it and commits the largest case of health fraud in the history of the country. That's what he did when he was CEO of a hospital. So he's exactly the guy he's telling us to be afraid of. So I think Rick Scott should probably instead worry about, I don't know, getting a job instead of where I go on vacation.
Yep, he likes let that freedom ring as long as it's ringing for him and his ilk and the owner donors that control him and so many others like him.